Hello Marie, I'm Mylene, I'm 26 years old and I'm from Paris, France. Well, my name is actually Mylène, but English people have trouble pronouncing it, so they often call me Mylene and you can too if you like. I graduated from an engineering school in 2010. While they tried to teach me Dreamweaver, I was busy because I just found out about a tool called WordPress and I was busy creating my first blog about movies. Well, when came the time to give back a project, I actually gave a website made in HTML CSS entirely on Notepad++, just because I couldn't stand Dreamweaver. In 2010, I got hired by Warner Bros. France as a web project manager. My first blog in WordPress played a big part into that. So WarnerBros.fr is the first badass project I've done and I'm really proud about it. I was hired temporarily and when the project was done, I became the first editorial manager of the website. It gave me the opportunity to interview big movie stars such as Bradley Cooper, Naomi Watts, Guy Ritchie and the Harry Potter cast. But after that they still couldn't hire me definitely, so I left. And I craved big projects, so I decided to build my own business. My biggest strengths are that I'm very organized, efficient and productive. This comes from years studying engineering, and in France these studies are quite hard. You have to learn a lot in a very short time, so it gave me the possibility to be super efficient in learning and doing. I wanted to build my own business because I wanted to experiment with web entrepreneurship, which wasn't developed in France, and frankly it still isn't. This leads me to my second badass project, which is CV Coach. It's a resume service and method which helps people with creating a resume that will get them a lot of job interviews. I decided to create CV Coach because we were at a period in France where unemployment was really high, and I had realized that my own CV got lots of job interviews. If I sent 10 resumes, I got 9 job interviews. It was really great. And at that time, I got into helping friends with their own resumes and they got great results. So I decided to bottle up all I knew about writing resumes in a single method to help people. I launched CV Coach in 2013. And 2 years later, I must admit that it hasn't had the results I expected. Over the last 2 years, I only earned something like 1,000 euros with CV Coach, unfortunately. I'm still very proud of this project since it's the one that allowed me to progress in web design, web development, entrepreneurship, marketing and communication. These past 2 years, I survived thanks to 3 things. 1, my husband pays the rent, so I'm very lucky. 2, in France we have an unemployment help, which has helped me for the first year. And 3, I tutor in mathematics and physics 3 students, which is really helpful. Did I mention this is my first video of myself ever? It's quite hard. So in late 2013, I decided to create websites for people. Since I created all my websites from my web entrepreneurship experiments, I became really experienced in building websites for people. This is how Kaizen Web was born. In September 2014, I got my first client for Kaizen Web. And then 2 months later I got my second one. Both projects earned me more money than CV Coach in the past 2 years. While working on my first 2 projects for Kaizen Web, I realized something, that creating a WordPress website was really a pleasure and that it didn't feel like work at all, whereas CV Coach does feel like work. So my main project in 2015 is to develop Kaizen Web as my main activity. Kaizen Web is the ideal activity for me because I can bring a lot to the table for my clients. I'm able to design great websites, and I also can bring them an editorial strategy that can help them reach their objectives. I am both a developer and an entrepreneur, which means I understand them better than anyone. I'm a part of a French blogger community called Parlons Blog, which means Let's Talk About Blog. I'm also a part of the Freelance to Freedom community, which is how I first found out about you, Marie. I saw you comment on a few posts and I asked myself, well, this name sounds French, but then I found out that you were Canadian. I then found out about you again in looking to the Conquer Club. I actually met Natalie McNeil when she was in Paris for the launch of the Conquer Club. When I found out about you, Marie, I immediately found out also about the Digital Strategy School, and I found it really great and thought it was ideal for me. But unfortunately, I struggle a bit financially and I thought that it wasn't for me at that time. That is, until I saw that you proposed a scholarship. After 2 years of entrepreneurship, I've made a lot of progress. I finally identified what I'm truly passionate about, which is creating websites and digital strategies for others. I've also identified what I'm not so good at, which is marketing myself and my products and making others see the real value that I bring them and why it's worth it. This is why I think that your Digital Strategy School would be ideal for me. It couldn't come at a better moment. I'm really trying to take Kaizen Web off the ground. I really need clients. I really need the money, and I really need the mentorship that I haven't had in the past 2 years. Thank you, Marie, for listening to me. I hope you'll pick me. I want it so bad. Please pick me. PHP Elephant says, pick me, pick me.